If I could have your attention, I would like to reconvene the annual business meeting of the National Association for Court Management. I hope you've all had a really good lunch today, and could you just join me real quickly in thanking our banquet staff who've done a good job of keeping us well fed this week. We have a rather brief but very important agenda today, so we're gonna just proceed right through that. The first thing that we're going to do today is to complete the election of our board members for the 2014-2015 year. Robert's rules provide that if there's only one person nominated for each position, the president is to declare the nominees elected by acclamation. Therefore, nominations having been closed on Monday, and there being only one nominee for each position, the slate of nominees is, as presented, is hereby elected by acclamation. Please join me in congratulating your new board members. And let me now introduce to you your new board members. You can just, please just stand where you're at and then so you can be recognized. The new president will be Michelle Oken. President-elect Stephanie Hess. Vice President Scott Griffith. Secretary-Treasurer Vicki Carlson. Clerk of Court Director Howard Gentry. Judge Director Kevin Burke. At-Large Director Dexter Thomas. And General Jurisdiction Director TJ Bement. Thank you, and please be seated. Now it's time of our program to recognize several outgoing board members. As you all may know, board service in the National Association for Court Management is a labor of love, and we have a number of board members who have given 3 years of their time. In fact, one of them has given multiple years, even 4 years of his time as a director on our board. So we'd like to recognize both of them. The first one I'd like to recognize is Judge Grant Brantley. If you could come up this way, Grant. I don't see you, but I know you're here somewhere, I think. Judge Brantley was the first judge director for NACM. This position was newly created, and he has helped us to sort of figure out and scope out what exactly the role of the judge director is. And I know Judge Burke will follow him, but will be in a place where he has learned from Judge Brantley. So maybe Judge is already gone, so we will get him a certificate. But please join me in thanking Grant for his service. Another director we'd like to recognize is Will Simmons. Will, are you still here? Oh, I hear him. Come on up, Will. Will served on the board, did a full 3-year term a few years ago, and this year, due to a resignation on the board, we had a vacancy, and Will immediately threw his name in the hat as an individual who was interested in serving more, and so he provided another whole year of service with us. And Will, we are grateful for your service and for you volunteering and stepping up. Please hang on, I have a certificate for you. Okay, at this time we would like to go forward with the induction of the new board. So would all the board members for the 2014 and 15 year? Judge is going to take care of that for us. So he's going to call us all up here individually. So thank you very much. Please welcome Judge Wesley from the LA Superior Court here to help do our induction. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Wesley. I am the presiding judge of Los Angeles. It is a great honor to be here with you this morning. As a board member of the National Conference of Metropolitan Courts and as a member of NACM, I have tremendous respect for what you all do. I know that without the talent and dedication in this room, and I know many of you, that our courts simply could not function. We judges could not do our work. I said in my presentation here on Monday that I have learned, as our Dale Lefevre has said many times, the term judge and court are not synonymous. As the work of the court becomes more complex, many issues the court faces are not strictly legal and addressable through knowledge of the law. Modern courts require expertise in many areas, and part of NACM's mission in their publications and conferences like this one is to keep managers current in court management and trends and techniques. NACM provides the platform for professionals throughout the world to develop into proficient and knowledgeable court managers, which in turn allows the courts to better serve their communities, especially in times of crisis. No place is that more evident than in Los Angeles, the largest trial court in the nation. So yes, for me it's a genuine pleasure to be here with you, to share and to learn, and to encourage our court's active participation in NACM and encourage representation on NACM's board by talented court managers like Michelle Oken. Speaking of Michelle Oken, I feel very privileged to be here and participate in this swearing-in ceremony, knowing that your president is an administrator in the civil division of our court, responsible for overseeing 10 clerical units consisting of 150 employees that process about 30,000 filings a week in limited and unlimited civil cases, small claims, and some other matters. Her records unit alone houses over 600,000 files. Knowing that in addition to her knowledge about administration in civil cases, she also has expertise in dealing with interpreter issues, a hot subject right now, where she was an administrator for over 5 years. And also a court manager for reporters. As you know, she was a court reporter for 18 years. So I know that with all her energy, knowledge, and skill, you have the right person to lead this organization in the next year. We on the Los Angeles Superior Court appreciate and are proud of what Michelle Oken has accomplished on our court. Thank you, Michelle. Through her hard work and dedication, and proud of the work also that she has done as an officer and board member of NACM, an organization that she is truly devoted to. So Michelle, it really is a very special honor for me to be here to administer the oath of office to you as president of NACM, as well as your officers and board members that you will serve with for the 2014-2015 year. So now, David, now, will the members of the 2014-2015 Board of Directors and officers please come to the area right in front of the podium to take the oath of office. And if you'll all just stand up here and face the audience. Face the audience so there can be a nice picture. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and uphold the principles of the National Association for Court Management, and that I will perform the duties of my office faithfully, impartially, and justly to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations to all of you.
Am I smiling larger now than I was a few minutes ago? Well, this is the last official thing I get to do as president, even though I guess I'm not technically president anymore, which is to recognize our new president, Michelle Oken. Before I do that, I would like to just take an opportunity to thank you for allowing me to serve as your president this last year. It truly is a highlight of my career, and it's been my greatest pleasure to be able to serve the membership this last year. My hope is that we have left this year with in NACM a little bit better place than we were when we started. One of the things that I had pointed out last year when I was sworn in is that we had a number of goals, one of which was to strengthen our association financially, through membership, operationally, through other partnerships, and inclusiveness. And I can tell you that as you heard from the financial report to all the other reports you heard from our committees, I believe the board is in a better place than it was at this time even last year. The second goal was to engage the next generation of court leaders to ensure that there was proper training for court leadership and bringing those individuals to the table. I leaned back during lunch and asked our ECP group just how many ECPers were here at the conference, and we're not exactly sure. I'm sure we have that number somewhere, and if I'd have asked earlier, I'm sure I would have had it. But we had around anywhere from 40 to 50 people who participated in the ECP Challenge this week. And when there's only 725 people here and 40 to 50 of them are people in the early career professionals group, I think we're making progress in that area, and I'm very happy about that. The third thing I wanted to work on this year was strengthening our partnership with state court administrators. As a member of that group, it's been really important to me to make sure we bridge the gap between our association and the Conference of State Court Administrators, and working with individuals like State Court Administrator Patty Tobias. I think we've made good progress there as well. The fourth goal was to strengthen our partnership with presiding judges and focusing on the presiding judge court administrator partnership. As you know, we partnered with the Metro Courts this year, and as you've seen through the education this week, we've had an opportunity to strengthen that partnership. The next goal was to strengthen our partnership with our international friends, and as you may know, we are working on a partnership for a conference in 2017 with IACA, and we're hopeful that that will come to fruition, as well as many times throughout the year. I had the opportunity to travel to Dubai this year for the International Association for Court Administration Conference on behalf of NACM, and just visiting with our friends from around the world, NACM is very much looked to, and I'm very happy about the strengthening of our relationship with them. The next to last goal I had was to review our publications, and as you have heard from the Publications Committee and hopefully have seen in your publications, I think that renewal is underway and has made great progress this year with more exciting things on the horizon. And lastly but not least, a goal was to complete the core, and as you've seen this week, we actually made it there. Still work to be done, but we actually made it on time and brought that project in here this week so you all could see it. So thank you to all of you who, without you, this work wouldn't have happened. I certainly did not do the majority of this by myself, and so I appreciate the opportunity to serve as your president, and I thank you very much for your work this year. Now, I'd like to recognize my good friend, Michelle Oken. I teased Michelle earlier on this week about the fact that I had the ranch last year, but she had 725 people here at this conference. She's done a really great job. Michelle has always been a strong, strong worker on the NACM board, and I know this year will be no exception. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she has to do. So Michelle, President Oken, congratulations on becoming our president, and I want to present you with the traditional NACM gavel.
Thank you.
And now your president, Michelle Oken.
Thank you so much, David. And as my first duty as president, I'd like to recognize our outgoing president, David Slayton. David, your energy and keen insight continually inspire all of us that have served with you this past year. So on behalf of the board and officers, I'd like to present you with this plaque and gavel. It says, David Slayton, in recognition of your outstanding leadership and dedicated service to the National Association for Court Management, presented July 2014 in Scottsdale, Arizona. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you very much. She wants a picture. Laurel wants a picture.
Thanks. Okay, but that isn't all. Okay. For those of you who know David, the most important thing to David is his family, but other than his family, he just loves the state of Texas and Dr. Pepper. So, David, I cannot believe I found this shirt for David. It's the state of Texas and Dr. Pepper.
All right. Thank you so much.
So when you wear that shirt, when you work out, you'll think of us. And then also, a more serious gift. In appreciation, again, on a personal note, we know you love to work out, and we hope you'll enjoy this Nike gift certificate.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. So I have a number of thank yous first, so please bear with me because there's a number of people who helped me get to where I'm at today. First, I'd like to thank Judge Wesley for being here today to swear in the NACM officers and board. He actually flew in on Sunday for a Metro Courts board meeting and gave a presentation on Monday morning, and then flew back to Los Angeles, and then flew back to Scottsdale yesterday afternoon so he could be here for the installation. So Judge Wesley, I'm so grateful for your support on behalf of the judges of Los Angeles Superior Court and for the support and encouragement of our executive office led by Executive Officer Sherry Carter, who's also here today, and she just flew in this morning to be here with us, so I really appreciate that you're here. Back in 2007, Joy Sorensen, NACM past president, told me that it had been a while since our court had been represented on the NACM board, that it was time for someone to step up. Both Joy and Jack Clark, our executive officer, encouraged me to get involved. Within that same time frame, my dear friend and colleague Terry Johnson insisted I join the subcommittee for the 2008 annual conference in Anaheim, where I met and worked closely with then conference chair and NACM past president Shelley Euchre, and the rest is history. Shelley, Joy, and Jack, thank you for inspiring me, for your guidance and mentoring as I have moved through the officer and board NACM ranks. So I'd like to recognize Joy, Shelley, and Jack. I would also like to thank my Los Angeles Superior Court colleagues, those that are in attendance today, and those at home watching this by live stream. A special thanks to my boss, Greg Drapak, who is here, who continues to be supportive and extremely patient on a daily basis, whether I'm participating on committee conference calls or fulfilling other NACM responsibilities. Fellow NACM officers, past and present board members, it has been a pleasure working with all of you. I would particularly like to acknowledge those past presidents that I served with, Paul, Marcus, Suzanne, Jude, Kevin, Pam, and David. I have learned something from each one of you. You will all be hard acts to follow. Last, but certainly not least, my family and close friends, who are always there for me and have been understanding and tolerant of my NACM life. They've all taken time out of their busy lives to be here for me today. First and foremost, my husband, Rick. I apologize in advance for my absence next year. I'm sure Amy Slayton can attest to the fact that this past year just flew by, and now she has her husband back. My mother, Myrna Oken, who taught me the importance of giving back and paying it forward. My incredible daughters, Brooke and Lindsay, and my sons-in-law, Eric and Justin, and my two grandchildren, Hannah and Judah. They're 3 and 5. They could not be here today because I don't think they could sit still enough to listen to the speech. My brothers, Jay Oken and Stuart Oken, who flew in as well for this occasion, and my close friends, some since junior high and high school, who came as well, Margaret and Mike, David and Connie, Barbara, Karen, and Mike. Thank you all for being here to share with me in this wonderful day in my life, as well as with the Los Angeles Superior Court colleagues of mine. So, fast forward 25 years. As we plan for the future, what will NACM as an association look like? What will it take to move us forward into the future with the next generation of court managers? We are on the cutting edge of our profession, and succession planning is critical. Over the past few months, I spent some time contacting NACM members, board members, and officers asking for their perspective. We spoke about what they see as priorities and important initiatives. As many of you are aware, I view the presidency as a collaborative effort, not just my vision. As stated by Mary McQueen in her keynote address on Tuesday, leadership is a relationship, not a position. In addition to carrying forward past President Slayton's goals, I determined that this year's focus should include an introspective look at NACM as an association, to take a look at the NACM board and the committee structure as we move into the future, that we should develop a transition plan for this year and the coming years to work together to provide cohesiveness as future board members and officers move up the ranks, and to examine how we communicate with our members, whether it's through publications, website, social media, webinars, and like today and during the entire conference, for the first time we've live streamed, and as you have been told, we've had over 2,000 hits on our live streaming website, which is phenomenal. We need to stay relevant and keep up with the rapidly changing times. We need to continue to collaborate with our partner associations. And as David mentioned, at this conference, we partnered with the National Conference of Metropolitan Courts, and we appreciate the fact that they're here, and I know a number of them have stayed throughout the entire conference and are still here today at our luncheon. And our partnerships with the State Justice Institute, National Center for State Courts, and as David mentioned, we are in the midst of planning for the joint NACM-IACA conference in 2017. We look to enhance NACM's collaboration with our state associations and explore the possibility of creating regional NACM programs. And educational opportunities. We continue to survey our members to determine your needs. This year, we will be formulating a new and innovative national agenda. And in the works right now is a membership partner collaborative association survey. The NACM National Agenda drives the priorities of NACM. So we hope when you all receive the survey that you'll take a few minutes of your time to let us know what you believe the needs are. We're going to distribute and market the new core, I almost said core competencies. The new core, as you heard yesterday from Stephanie Hess, we showed a little snapshot of what our new core is going to look like, and we will be able to distribute it and market it over the coming years, and we hope that you will all give us your feedback on that as well. I hope that this year we can develop stronger connections with our membership to encourage more members to become involved, participate in webinars, and attend conferences. And last but not least, let's take a look at the value of NACM as an association and what we can do to impart that value for future generations. Last year, court administration celebrated 50 years of existence. Our path has been a long and winding road. Pioneers such as Ernie Friesen and Ed Gallus paved the way for us. Now, 50 years later, it is our responsibility to set the course for the next generation by developing a blueprint for action. This year's conferences focused on embracing the courts of the future. This board will carry that concept forward as we embrace the future of NACM. As stated by Peter Drucker, professor, writer, and management consultant, the best way to predict the future is to create it. The board is here to lead NACM into the future. You, the members, have a voice in NACM. We need your assistance in defining our course. I challenge each one of you to get involved by signing up on one of NACM's committees. NACM has the opportunity to set the tone and pave the way. The future of court management is in our hands. It is an honor and privilege to serve as NACM's 30th president. Thank you very much. At this time, what we're going to do, if nobody has any further business, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. And we're going to go right into our closing plenary session right now. Thank you all for attending our conference. It's been very exciting. As David mentioned, we had over 725 registrants and attendees. And now is the time that we ask for your feedback. And so what I'd like to do is basically just open it up to the floor, and Stephanie Hess has a microphone. She'll be walking around. We'd like to hear from you on, of course, we always like to hear the positive remarks. Right. And also what you think we might have been able to improve on. I also want to mention during the closing plenary, we do have a gift certificate to the Kierland Weston. So it will be raffled off actually at the end of this session. One of you, we don't know who yet, and we don't know where it is, has the lucky tape, or what do we put under the chairs, Lori? Oh, okay. All right, so it's some, don't look yet. But anyway, someone's going to have that, and we'll tell you where it is later. But we want to encourage you to stay. So anyway, Stephanie.
Tearing apart the chairs over here.
Okay, so right now I'll turn it over to Stephanie. She has a microphone, and we'd love to hear some feedback on the conference. So Pam DeVault has the microphone.
This really isn't feedback on the conference. This is feedback on the last year. I just want to say that I think David Slayton has done an absolutely incredible job as our leader, and he is, well, living in Texas now, the way he is leading the Office of Court Administration, the changes he's made, he has been such an incredible influence on court administration, and I just think he deserves a standing ovation for the tremendous job he did over the last year.
Oh my God.
Okay, feedback on the conference. Anybody want to give us some feedback? Nobody wants to give us feedback. Really? Nothing was wrong? Nothing was right? Okay, Pam.
I have some real feedback. I think this is one of the best conferences that I've attended, and I've been coming to conferences since 1996. So I think you've done a tremendous job. There were so many great sessions. All of the sessions that I attended were very helpful. I walked away with at least one really good idea that I can take back to apply. So thank you for your hard work. You've done a tremendous job.
Thank you, Pam.
I wanted to comment on the streaming. We had a conversation at a table the other day, some of us old timers, and we had some of the new attendees with us. And we were exchanging how some of us thought, streaming, how are we going to get people to come to our future conferences? And is this a good idea, a bad idea? And we had some really good exchange and interesting feedback. And I think us old timers walked away from it thinking, we gotta think about this. And the feedback was, a couple of individuals said, you know, we went to some of the sessions, they were completely full, so we couldn't get in the door, and so we went to our room and watched the streaming instead, and we got much more out of the session as a result of that.
Great.
Another one, same kind of thing, that the rooms were cold, they wanted to be in their pajamas or whatever, watching in their room. So I wanted to share that because I wanted to applaud the board for opening that up, and I think we've been struggling that for many years. You know, will it infringe on our conferences in the future? Does it enhance it? And I think that I anyway, was very inspired that I think it enhances it. So I wanted to share that with you all.
Can you do me a favor and raise your hand if you know you had colleagues in your courts that were watching by live stream or that you shared the information with your courts? Great. Thank you. And we've gotten comments, even texts, David and myself, from people who were not able to attend the conference who say, wow, the NACM conference looks great, and I'm hoping that my court will send me next year. So hopefully it will have the reverse effect with all of those hits on our site. Is there anybody else that wanted to make a comment? Right over here, Marcus.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. First, congratulations.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, but I still recall when the board considered Phoenix, and we had quite a discussion because I know this isn't the most comfortable place in the summer, but it turned out, I think it's worked out just great. And so on behalf of the courts, I want to thank you folks for being here. And I want to thank the board. I think part of the attendance here is you've just offered such a great program. There's a lot of content. I think in the end, people looked at the program announcements, and I think communications are better now today, too, with the notices we had, and they decided we'll sign up. We don't care what about the weather. We're going to come out here. So hats off to the board, and thanks you folks for being here.
Yes, I wanted to mention that the Michigan State session, they were just awesome. And I want to encourage more people to get involved. I know it's a commitment you make because you know it's a commitment for a bunch of hours, but just being a person that was a little hesitant a few years ago, I'm so glad I got involved because you learn so much. And Janet, Marcus, and Yolanda, our fellow board member, just did an outstanding job. So I just encourage more people to get involved with that because it's very helpful and very informative.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Okay. Well, with that being said, I'm now going to turn it over to Stephanie Hess, who's going to talk a little bit about our conferences in 2015.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Michelle. I'll just stay down here. That way I can wander around and pick on people if I need to. You probably know we've got 2 conferences scheduled for next year. We'll be in Austin, well, just outside of Austin. Yes, Texas again. It's the theme today with the Dr. Pepper shirt and everything. So we'll be just outside of Austin in February, and then we will be in Louisville, Kentucky in July next year. And you may have seen there was a issue for a call for proposals that went out for the mid-year conference in February. And we're going to be looking at the new core for both of the conferences next year. The mid-year conference will focus on the foundational principles of the core. We'll talk about purposes and responsibilities, access and fairness, all those types of kind of foundational issues that surround court administration and court management. The call for proposals has been closed, but if there's anybody that is interested in participating and submitting a call, please let me know because we'd be happy to take any additional call for proposals as well. I think we've got a little video that we want to show about Austin so that you can see the property. It's just beautiful from what I understand. So I think if we can do that now, that would be great. It definitely looks like a lot of fun, and it has a kind of a similar vibe, I think, to this property, in that it's kind of a resort type feeling and a lot of outdoor activities to do and very family friendly. So if you are in a cold climate, like I am in Ohio, and looking for somewhere a little bit warmer to go in February, yes, so we're not on the surface of the sun in February, but so it will be nice and warm, so a good opportunity for you to kind of come and bring your family and get that good educational piece as well. And then, like I mentioned, in July, we'll be in Louisville, and I think we have a video to show you the property in Louisville as well. For those of you who haven't been to Louisville or haven't been there recently, it really is very, very cool. I was very surprised because I hadn't been there in quite a while, and it's very cool. As you can see, lots of really interesting things to do, a lot of really good restaurants, live music. They are really excited about us coming, and they have actually already started marketing to us. And so we have a Louisville map, and we also have some koozies, so you can put your sodas in a koozie, and it says good times from start to finish on one side, and then Louisville on the other side. You can get a map, and you can get the koozies out here at the reg desk, so as you're walking out, feel free to stop by and pick those up. The map is really cool, though, because it shows you all the different things that you can do. There are lots of museums and just really fun things. You saw the Louisville Slugger Museum and so on. So I encourage you to take a look at that. We're really excited about Louisville. We haven't been to the Midwest for a little while, so we're excited about getting back there next summer. And it won't be quite as hot as here, but it'll be a little bit more humid. You know, it is a dry heat here in Arizona, right? Dry heat. And I'm not sure it makes a difference when it's 110, but So the climate will be a little bit different next summer. But any of you that are interested in participating in the conference planning for next year, please shoot me an email. My email is stephanie@nacmnet.org, and I will be chairing the Conference Development Committee. So if there's anyone that's interested in talking about the educational sessions, if you have ideas, or if you want to get involved in any of the social events, we've got some really good ideas about some cool social events that we might be able to pull off. Of course, we'll have the Fun Run Walk and things like that, like we usually do. Speaking of the Fun Run Walk, we have some t-shirts from this year's run left over. You can get these for $5 at the registration desk. All of the proceeds will go towards our conference scholarship fund. So I encourage you, if you are interested in a t-shirt, stop by the registration desk. You can pick up your map, your koozies, and you can buy a t-shirt for $5 and support the NACM Scholarship Fund so we can have even more folks come to the annual conference next year. Any questions about our upcoming conferences? Yes, Andra. Yes, that was a good question. The hotel is downtown in Louisville. There are actually two, right, Val? They're on the map, she says. They are the Louisville Marriott Downtown and the Hyatt Regency Louisville. And she's making some symbol. I have no idea what she's doing. What does that mean? Oh, they're connected. Where I come from, this is OHIO. I thought she was doing OHIO to me. Any other questions about the conferences next year? We're really excited. It should be good. It should be great.
Okay, if there are no other questions, someone is sitting on a chair that has some under their chair that says the Weston Kierland. So everybody get up and look under your chair and see who our winner is. Or if it's not on your chair, it might be on one next to you. Oh, congratulations. Come on up. Thank you all for attending our conference, and we hope to see you in Lost Pines, Texas in February. And the board will be taking board pictures in about 10 minutes right outside here.